Hello everybody and welcome to Slinky Boy Games, the channel where we get every single achievement in every single video game. My name is Slinky and today we'll be going over Dragon Age: The VEILGUARD, which is the latest addition in one of the most beloved video game franchises and one of my personal favorites of all time. So I'm very excited about this one, and it should be noted that all trophies for this game can be gotten in a single run, regardless of what race, class, faction, or difficulty setting you choose. So without further ado, let's get into how to get every single achievement in Dragon Age: The VEILGUARD. Major spoilers ahead. We begin the game fighting through the streets of Minrathous with the help of a couple familiar faces, Varric and Scout Harding, on the hunt for our first new companion, Nev, a detective that's agreed to help us track down Solas and stop his ritual to tear down the Veil. We arrive at the ritual site only to find more chaos and demons that we'll have to fight through before finally getting to lay eyes on the Egghead himself. What's up, Egghead? Here is where we have to make our first semi-big decision of the game, picking between Nev and Harding to help us take down the ritual statues. This decision only impacts who will come with you on the next quest, so we choose to take Harding this time. But as the ritual and our plans crumble around us, we get knocked unconscious, and are able to have a quick fade mind link conversation with Solas, where we earn our first trophy, Part 1, the Minrathous job, for finishing the prologue. As we come to, we find that Varric is down for the count, and because she came with us to stop the ritual, Harding isn't looking much better. We make a quick stop at our wardrobe where we can update our gear's cosmetic appearance to get our second achievement, A New Look, before getting our first glance at the new base and gathering the team to start our investigation by heading back to Arlithan Forest and recruiting an expert on ancient elven artifacts, Balara. Then we check out a blighted village where we have our first close encounter with a dragon. But since we don't have to fight it yet, we meet back up with the Veil Jumpers and are greeted by another old friend who gives us our next achievement, Part 2, Ruin's Reach. Then it's back to the ritual site where we fight through a horde of Darkspawn and are able to knock this one off a bridge to get the Falling For You achievement, before we finally go pick up Solas' dagger, and with it, Harding's cool new abilities. After a quick regroup at the lighthouse, we meet the caretaker and unlock the Alluvion, allowing us to explore several more areas, as well as giving us another achievement, Part 3, Awakening. First up on our exploration list is the Crossroads, where we grab our first Fen'Harel altar for an achievement later on, as well as perform our 5th takedown to get the next achievement between a Rook and a Hard Place. Then it's off to Docktown to meet up with the Shadow Dragons and help Nev with some casework, which awards us with our first rune, which we can immediately socket into the dagger for the achievement Rune for Improvement. Next, we're tasked with rescuing one of the Crow's best assassins, Lucanus, from an underwater Venatori prison so he can join the team. Once we complete both that and Nev's initial quest in Minrathous, we earn the achievement Part 4, Tevinter Nights. And then it's back to Docktown for another quick quest from the Shadow Dragons, giving us the achievement Part 5 and Velenime. At this point, we're invited over to a meeting with the First Warden, but instead, we'll do our first round of cleaning up side quests, grabbing some more Evanuris and Fen'Harel altars, as well as upgrading our first faction merchant for the trophy A Faction's Favor. We've also gathered up 20 mementos, which we can hand over to the caretaker in exchange for gear upgrades, getting us the achievement, A Rook Like Shiny Things. Then we can grab our first of 3 mysterious circles that we'll need to collect for the missable trophy The Storm Quelled later on. After all that is done, we finally head over to our meeting with the First Warden, who offers absolutely no help and even tries to arrest us. But luckily we're saved just in time by our old pal Dorian. Now, being told to stay away from the Blight and not interfere with Grey Warden business, of course, leads us to meet up with a couple of rogue wardens that are willing to help.
Well, your letter was desperate.
Harding?
What? Aren't we desperate?
And recruit our next companions, the Grey Warden Davrin, and the top secret baby griffin he's training, Asan. Upon returning to our base with our new allies, we learn that both Minrathous and Treviso are under attack by dragons, and we have to choose which one to save. I chose to save Minrathous because you only lose 100 faction points from the Crows, rather than the 250 that you would lose from the Shadow Dragons, but it's easy to make up for lost points on either side by doing faction side quests or selling your valuables to the merchant in the Crossroads. This means that you can still beat the game and get all of the achievements no matter which city you save, but it's important to note that the corresponding companion of the city that you don't save, so Nev for Minrathous or Lucanus for Treviso, will be unavailable for a little while and will return to the group hardened, meaning they'll have a boost to all of their damage abilities, but it eliminates any healing abilities they might have had, as well as makes them a lot harder to romance, so if you're going after one of them, just save their city. Whichever city you choose, you'll meet up with that companion, who will join you in the fight as Gillinane decides to make an appearance and orders the dragon to attack. But after fighting it off, you'll get the trophy Part 6, Old Blood and Older Oaths. We take some time to clean up a few more side quests in the wake of the chaos, and then it's off to gather our last two companions, a Fade expert named Emmerich, and a dragon hunter named Tosh. And with the team now complete, we get another trophy, Part 7, Fire, Feather, and Fade. Now it's off to a meeting with Morrigan and the Inquisitor, who task us with finding several wolf statuettes in the crossroads. Once you gather all of these statuettes, they can be brought back to the lighthouse and used to unlock 6 of Solus's memories, getting you the achievements, a memory of false gods, a memory of our mistake, a memory of blackened hearts, a memory of manifestation, a memory of tranquility, and a memory of an old friend. Having learned of the Dread Wolf's deepest regrets, we're now invited to the crossroads to meet with a fragment of Mythal herself. Here you have a chance to persuade her to your cause with these specific dialogue choices, or you can fight her dragon form to prove yourself. Either way counts towards the 7 total high dragons we'll have to fight for another achievement later on, and once she's been convinced or dealt with, you'll get the Fragment of Mythal statuette and the achievement Clear Minds and Open Hearts.
Compelling. I find you worthy, Rook.
With Mythal now on our side, and some new insight into the gods, it's time to go to the Warden Fortress Weisshaupt to take on Gillinane, who, for some reason, has decided to become a giant face in the clouds, as well as her newly risen archdemon. Yay! But after fighting through endless waves of Darkspawn, we managed to slay the 3-headed monstrosity, finally making Gillinane mortal and allowing us to wound the goddess. Unfortunately, it isn't quite enough, and we're forced to make a quick retreat, leaving us with the achievement Part 8, No Sacrifice Greater. Do y'all remember the good old days when fighting an archdemon was the hardest thing we were gonna have to do? Yeah. Buckle up. Once we return to the lighthouse, we can drop off more mementos for a total of 80, giving us the achievement A Rook Really Likes Shiny Things, and then we can take some time to finish off more faction and companion side quests, as well as grabbing more Evanurus and Fen'Harel altars.
And another Fen'Harel altar.
And between all the Fen'Harel altars we found, and from level ups from quests, we can now spend our 52nd skill point for the trophy Stacking the Deck. Back at the lighthouse, we also find an invitation to the Black Emporium, which we can immediately go visit, giving us the achievement A Most Esteemed Purveyor. Then we get word that the dragon we fought in Minrathous is back, so we make our way to the Hossberg wetlands, and with our team now equipped with the Dragon Hunter, we try to finish it off, only for the second dragon from Treviso to join in.
Second dragon!
But some well-timed help from our allies lets us take down both dragons, giving us the achievement Part 9, Bonds on Blackened Wings. These two also count towards the 7 high dragons we'll have to fight, bringing our current total to 3. At this point, we unlock the rest of the lighthouse, granting us access to the top balcony where we can try to jump off for the achievement Nostalgia Trip, before we tidy up some more side quests, including taking down 2 more high dragons with Tosh, leaving us with just 2 left. Then, we follow the gods' trail to Arlithan Forest, where the Venatori plan to hold a ritual sacrifice.
Do they mean the clan? They mean the clan, don't they?
But we rescue the Dalish at the last minute, which awards us with Part 10, The Blood of Arlithan. And because that was the last quest for the Veil Jumpers, we also get the achievement Annihilation in Arlithan. Now it's time to wrap up the rest of our companion quests to bring everyone to Hero of the VEILGUARD status, and finish off the rest of the faction quests to bring all of our allies to full strength. Finishing off Harding's personal questline gets us the achievement A Song from the Stone, and Balara's gives us the achievement Reflections. Then we help Davrin and the Griffins for a new calling, and we get the Wardens to full strength for the achievement The Light in the Dark. While we're in the Hossberg wetlands, we can also grab the only other really missable trophy in the game, as there's no quest link to it or any indicators on the map. But in the arena we just fought the 2 blighted dragons in, now sits Despair Undying, who, as the name suggests, is a despair demon that will keep respawning until you bring it 3 bouquets of flowers, at which point it will become a peaceful spirit. These flowers only become available after finishing the Grey Warden side quests and are located in these 3 little caves, but upon delivering the flowers to Despair Undying, we get the trophy in peace. Then we finish off Nev's questline, giving us the City of Shadows trophy, and help out the Shadow Dragons for the Soul of a City achievement. Then we go to Emmerich for the achievement Death Becomes Him, and we help out the Morn Watchers by fighting our 6th High Dragon called the Formless One, to get the achievements The Supernatural and Strange and The Unbound, as well as pick up our 2nd Mysterious Circle. Last but not least, we finish Tosh's questline, in which we take down our 7th High Dragon to get the achievement Little Dragon, and because that was the last High Dragon that counted towards the Bringing Down the Sky trophy, we also unlock that. Next up, we finish all the quests on the Ravane Coast to help the Lords of Fortune for Call for Coin and Company, before finishing off with Lucanus for Blood Ties, and finally the Crow's quests where we take down the corrupt governor of Treviso, revealing Elgernon and Gillenane's hideout and giving us the achievements The Talons of Vengeance and Part 11 As Shadows Fall. Having done all these quests, we should also have unlocked Across the Imperial Highway for visiting every area of the game. While we're wrapping all this up, we make sure to get the last few Evanurus and Fen'Harel altars for the achievement No Real Gods, and we hand in the last of our mementos so we can upgrade all of our gear. To get the Enchantments achievement, we just take any weapon, armor piece, and accessory that's been upgraded to Legendary status, and bring them up to level 10. Now, all that's left to do before heading into the endgame is to unlock the Giant Blight Gate in the Crossroads by fighting 3 Blighted Champions and their 3 respective Revenants. This leads to a fight with the Giant Corrupted Dragon that does not count towards the Bringing Down the Sky achievement, but it's here that we find our last Mysterious Circle. And with literally nothing else left to do in the game, it's finally time to pass the point of no return and take down the gods once and for all.
And Rook, I wish you great luck.
Arriving at the god's base on Tearstone Island, we're forced to split the party and choose between Davrin and Harding as the leader of the second team. It's important to note, and again, major spoiler here, whoever you choose to lead Team Distraction will die at the end of the quest, meaning they will no longer be available as a companion for the rest of the game, obviously. But that means that you should choose based on whichever class you're playing. For instance, if you're playing a rogue, maybe you sacrifice Harding, and if you're playing a warrior, maybe you sacrifice Davrin. I didn't do that. I sacrificed Harding only because I refused to let anything bad happen to Hassan. I love him more than life. Sorry, Harding. Continuing through the island, we come to a point where we have to choose between Nev and Balara to disable some magical wards. Whoever you choose for this will be unavailable for the next portion of gameplay, but will be rescued in time for the final mission.
Laura!
After making our way through the rest of the island and an insane Gillenane fight, Harding decides to make the ultimate sacrifice as leader of Team Distraction.
Whatever it takes.
Taking the hit for the team finally allows Lucanus to finish off the corrupted goddess. But in retrieving the dagger from her body, we unknowingly get pulled into the Fade, swapping places with Solus, and becoming trapped in our own prison of regrets. In order to escape, we have to confront our guilt and say a final goodbye to our lost friends, giving us the achievement Part 12, The Best Tales. Now reunited with most of our companions, it's time to gather our allies to mount a rescue mission for Balara, who we chose to take down the wards, and engage in an all-out war with Elgernon's army of Venatori, Darkspawn, demons, and even a giant stone construct. Here, we have to make one last round of big decisions as we assign a role to each of our remaining party members. As long as everyone is Hero of the VEILGUARD status, the best options for each role are Emmerich, Tosh, Nev or Balara depending on who's with you, or Davrin if he wasn't sacrificed on Tearstone Island to help the Veil Jumpers take down the wards. Lucanus, Emmerich, and Nev, if she's still with you, are all fine to assassinate the lead Venatori mage, and finally, Tosh, or Davrin or Harding, depending on who you have, are the best suited to take on the giant construct. I chose to go with Emmerich, Lucanus, and Tosh, respectively, leaving us with Nev and Davrin in our party. The battle begins as we rush through the chaos, and with all of our allied factions at full strength and our companions at Hero of the VEILGUARD status, we make quick work of the fight and come out with no further casualties. This leaves us to fight through an onslaught of Darkspawn and Venatori until we meet up with the Dread Wolf, who apologizes for betraying us and agrees to take down Elgernon's archdemon so we can go after the big man himself. He then turns into an actual Dread Wolf to battle against the giant dragon as we fight through more waves of enemies and are eventually able to rescue Balara before regrouping with the rest of the team. Now at Elgernon's doorstep, we make the final push through the waves of enemies and one last assignment, where one of our companions needs to stay behind to guard Morrigan and the Inquisitor. Tosh, or Davrin if he's still available, are the best suited for this role. Completing this section gives us the achievement Part 13, The Last Gambit. After a tense climb and fight through the Archon's palace, it's finally time to face down Elgernon. It's a brutal 3-phase fight, but we manage to come out victorious with only one person left in the way of saving the world: Solus. The final decision of the game comes down to how you want to deal with him. And since we went through all of his memories and have the fragment of Mythal with us, we are able to convince him to stand down and tie his own life force to the Veil, once again stabilizing it. But any way that you choose to end the threat gets the achievement Part 14, The Dread Wolf Rises. With the world now safe and the rest of our companions alive and well, we get the trophy, The Ones That Last. And because we collected all 3 mysterious circles, we also unlock a short post-credits cinematic and the final achievement, The Storm Quelled. And that's every single achievement in Dragon Age the Veilguard. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit subscribe for more achievement and collectible guides coming soon, or feel free to leave a comment down below telling me what games you want to see. But that's it for this video. Until next time, happy gaming.